Good evening, Internet. Welcome to the October 2018 ILOI discussion meeting for the Kingdom of Meridies. I am the Honorable Lord Ulrich Eisenhand, Head and Herald for the Kingdom of Meridies, and I have some rather wonderful commenters here with me tonight. I'm going to start on my left on my bar and work my way across, and if I could have everybody introduce themselves. We're going to start with Master Alexander over on my left here.
Hi, I'm Master Alexander Ravenscroft. I am Stentor Herald Extraordinary, and I am a Field and Court Herald. So I'm only here to mess things up.
All right, next in line is our visitor from Callantyr, Mistress Brigida.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brigida from Minchin. I am Gold Falcon Principal Herald for Callantyr.
And she's my Herald's Point buddy at Gulfport.
Fist bump.
Fist bump. I'm still looking for a deputy, by the way.
I told you, when I retire, I'll be all on that.
All right. All right, next in line, Kurt.
Hello, I'm Lord Kurt Bogner. I am the Cipher Personate, which is the intake herald for the Kingdom of Meridies.
He's my paperwork monkey, and he does an amazing job at it.
He does an amazing job.
Yeah.
Oh, Pshaw.
All right, next in line is Woo.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mistress Wu. I'm Beacon Principal Herald for Meridies.
She's been Beacon for such a long time that it's still squeaky clean.
15 whole minutes.
15 whole minutes.
No, I stepped up on. Saturday before last.
Next in line is Meister Guntram.
I'm Meister Guntram von Kern. I have currently no heraldic office, so I'm a heraldic deadbeat.
What? No.
All right. Next in line, Master Herveus.
I'm Herveus Drummond, Merciless Herald, Gnome Herald, Troublemaker, Poker of Hornets' Nests, etc., etc.
It's part of your charm, Herveus.
I'd like to
He
think
does it so well.
Practice. Just like getting the Carnegie Hall.
Last but not least, Thorfinna.
Hi, I'm Lady Thorfinna, Moss' daughter. I am the baronial herald for the Barony of Bladenfell, located in Nashville, Tennessee, and you'll hear the wonderful people in town and call me Sunny Bunny.
All right. So we don't have a huge number of items on tonight's letter, so hopefully we can make it a fairly quick letter tonight. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop in on number 1, and it is in Gaelic, so I apologize if I butcher this. I think it's Eachredd of Clon Maquette.
Close enough.
Close enough. New name and new device. Let's start off with the name. Excuse me. Bronwyn brought up that there is an issue with the lingua anglica of with the spelling of the name not being in period. It's earliest dated to 1835.
That's a
However,
little
there are two spellings in the documentation which are in gray period. One at 1609 and one at 1628.
But I think the modern form of the name is usable.
Okay. The other issue we run into is the earliest documentable date for that name for the town name is 1609, but it's a 10th century given name. That's the other issue that came up during discussion.
Right. I note that the documentation says that the submitted spelling is the modern form of Echad, and that's
Allowable under lingua anglica, yes.
no for the given name. I'm not so sure about that.
No, for the
For the place.
Yeah, well, it's the given name. The document, the spelling that's submitted does not appear to be documented as a period spelling.
Okay, yeah, I missed that in her.
It says it's the modern form of Echrad, and so presumably that means it's after the colon in O'Corn and McGuire. Let's see. I mean, if that's the modern Gaelic form, I'm not sure that that's okay. I'm not good enough on Gaelic to actually offer a fix.
Now, they were anticipating this question because you could read in the submission near the end that they have a caveat there. If not, then there is a version dated 1602.
Anglicized Irish, yeah. So
Well, that would be
You already know their intention.
That would
right.
be
Yeah,
that
there's
would
that.
be acceptable.
And if
And if we're using lingua anglica for a town that we have documented to exist in period,
if you use the 1609 site for that's certainly it's contemporary in time, and using the lingua anglica for the place name, to use the modern form of the place name, and the anglicized Irish given name there, that's probably the better thing to send up and clearly explain what the submitter gave you to start with, and tell them what you got, tell them what you did with it, so that maybe it can get put back if somebody is really good. And throw yourself on the mercy of the Gaelic experts.
yeah. All right, and she says that she is aware that the given name, given name that she's proposing to change to is a masculine name. Somebody's got some audio going on in the background. Christian, I think that might be.
I think it might be picking on it because it doesn't pick up.
Yep.
Okay.
That was you. Sorry. So Christian Gwen showing up. Wave at everybody, please.
Good job. Hey.
No waves. Okay.
I think it might be a delay.
I'll leave them. Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to we're going to change the given name, get submitted permission to do that, and send that one up. Move along to the device. Per chevron inverted vert. They missed part of the per chevron inverted vert and azure. Oh nope. All right. Let me start over. Per chevron inverted vert melody of 4 points argent and azure. A chevron inverted and in base a whale argent. So we had some blazing foo issues. I believe the proposed change was for chevron inverted, vert and azure, a chevron inverted between 4 mullets of 4 points and a whale argent. Since we can't very well have mullety with only 4 mullets.
Right.
Right.
And Cypher actually agreed with me when I said something about that. I win.
All right, so I don't believe we had anyone find any conflict during this. Lucy commented, no conflicts found. Fixed the typo, edited the blazon. Otherwise, I think it's good to go. I'm going to suggest that first redraw to the submitter, where we just sort of clean up, make all the mullets unified, uniform shape, and just sort of clean up the orientation a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely like the period whale for the charge.
There was a question on the unity or possible unity with having them 3 and 1. Are we good with that? I don't see a response to it.
I believe Herveus has said that we're okay with that.
All right.
If it's a semi, then it's no big deal. If it's 4, well, there is no default arrangement of 4, so you kind of have to say it. I think it walks you into a problem.
Okay, well, let me reword this. If we sent it up as is, it's more likely that they would reblazon it rather than reject it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And certainly if it was field semi or field mullety of 4 points, I could plausibly expect there to be 4 points above the line and 3 mullets below. So you don't have to squint real hard to go, well, that's enough to be semi over half the field.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
So we're discussing the first.
Yeah, we were wondering if you were gonna show up. I know Lucian wasn't gonna be able to make it tonight, so
No, I was planning to be here, and unfortunately the time got away from me, and I didn't realize it was after 8 o'clock until Christy messaged me about the thing, and I went, "Oh my God!" So,
that's because I think Lucian normally does that, right?
Lucian actually messaged me this morning and said, "Remember, the thing is tonight." And I said, "Yeah, I know it is." And I actually didn't have any problem with that. I got absorbed with something else and I screwed up. So now I'm here. Okay.
Slipping into the future.
I had it in my head it was next week, so I would have missed it completely if Ian hadn't posted it all over Facebook.
I wasn't on Facebook. I was doing something else on the computer, and I zoned out about what time it was.
I even remembered to send out my reminder post a week ahead.
Yeah.
You are such a stud.
I put it in the calendar on my phone, so it went, "Hey, you got something happening."
That's exactly what I do.
Hint.
I'm so proud of all of you.
I did that too, but I told it the last Tuesday, not the
You
fourth
put it.
Tuesday.
You put it in on the wrong date. That'll mess you up.
Nine times out of 10, I would have had the right day.
Yeah, but we're all here now.
All right, so
Okay, so we're on object number 1.
we're gonna propose. I'm gonna propose the redraw with the 4 mullets to the submitter, just to clean it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're just gonna send that up as is and cross our fingers, because I mean I I don't know enough about Unity of Posture rules, and there seems to be a little bit of hemming and hawing on whether or not 3-in-1 is going to be an issue. So I'm going to send that up and let the people above my pay grade tell me.
Unity of X for various values of X is a steaming pile of stuff.
Yeah, I think the default for the default for 3 mullets would be 3-in-1, but
above a line and a shell below a line, and it got kicked back for my inanimate object not sharing a unity of position.
Yeah. If the drawing goes up with an actual semi and not 4 of them, then you assuredly don't have an issue. But if the submitter really wants 4, then you send it up and we'll find out whether there's a unity of issue.
There is not a more logical way to arrange 4 mullets of 4 points above converted.
Yeah, I mean that
is the default in cross.
There is no default for 4 charges.
No.
I would say 3-in-1 is the best way to fill the space.
It's the most logical way for certain.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna propose that redraw and send it up. So
if you use the redrawn one, make sure you mention that you did redraw it and the submitter approved it.
I have to do that on about half of my devices and badges on every single letter.
I'll just mention it because when that isn't covered on the letter and it's observed that things got changed, then side eye occurs in the meetings.
I was in the Submissions Herald meeting at Known World where Cormac talked about that for a little bit. So,
but I will probably mention it every time just to be sure.
Yeah.
Unless you tell me stop, enough, I got it.
Okay, so
well,
we're sending up the name with the changed given name, and we're sending up the device with the redraw once the submitter approves. Moving on to number 2. Elisif Gilther, new name and new device. Start off with the name. See here. Given name comes from Gearbossi. By name comes from Landnamabok.
Probably in Gearbossi too.
Probably is.
But Viking answer lady. No, Viking name. No, it's not.
It's one of Aries' articles.
Yeah.
It's an Ariadne article. So
it's there's no need to change the site.
Yeah.
Just saying you're probably in Gearbossi too.
But name seems to be formed correctly. Docs check out. I'm gonna say that the name is good unless someone found a conflict. I didn't.
I didn't either.
Okay.
I'm also looking in Gearbossi right now.
Page 10.
That's GYL.
Maybe not.
Yes, it is also in Gearbossi on page 22.
Page 22. Okay.
Yes, it's defined as meaning howler or wolf.
Yep.
So if anybody wants to add that in as further documentation.
It's actually part of the documentation already.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So name's good. Going up. Moving on to the device. Jarony, Sable, and Argent, 2 ravens rising respectant ghouls.
Yeah, I didn't find any conflict.
Not either.
Me neither.
Ravens are supposed to be hairy.
Yeah. They're raveny enough.
Raven-esque.
Yeah.
Ravens have hairy feathers.
I think they look good. I didn't find any conflicts when I checked either, so we're gonna send that one up too.
Yay.
Excellent.
All right, moving on to number 3. Gwyneth Ravenscar, new name and new device. I think Frida found Ravenscar.
Sorry about
Wow, what was that?
Force is strong with that one.
Kurt,
Whatever.
you when you do that. Jeez.
Sorry, I heard him coming, and I'm like, "Where's the mute button? Mute button! Mute button!"
It's okay. I dropped my bowl earlier.
I was like,
Made a really funny face too.
I just love the ambiance of Kurt doing this outdoors. This is just,
And meanwhile, up here, it is currently about 35 degrees.
oh God.
Oh,
it's not a whole lot warmer outside right now. It's probably
No.
Yeah, I've got the heating blanket on. I'm fine.
But so Frida found Ravenscar as a single name.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because that's what she
Awesome,
wants.
using lingua anglica of a is it an Anglo-Saxon,
Old Scandinavian.
old Scandinavian name?
Well, okay, that's the origin.
British. It's from Mills. It's from Dictionary of British Place Names.
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
and there's the site about locative by names using standard modern English forms, which applies to
Right. So that should thrill her to no end.
It would.
Yeah.
Relative Herald, it works.
Yes.
So
Yep, Caitlin says she wants Ravenscar. So she'll
Okay.
take it as 2 words if she has to, but ended up with
I'm
one
surprised she
word.
didn't find it earlier. It's not that unusual of a name.
No,
Yeah.
she was doing
She's been looking for
start
it for
documentation. Yeah. To try to get the name elements as close as possible, and she doesn't need to do that. So
It's
all right. See here. What do we have a date on the given name?
it was a 1577 marriage record.
Yeah.
So
mhm.
and Ravenscar, the original form of 1312. So I mean,
It's
And the and Gwyneth is dated to 1577, and then later to 1541, which is even closer.
well, they're both English, so they should.
Right.
500 years, no problem.
No, it's way less than that.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I will propose that change to the submitter, and if she approves, we'll send it up. I'm going to leave the stud documentation with Raven and Scar as separate names, as in case they take an issue with using lingua anglica on an unmarked locative. I don't think they will, but just in case.
Well, in English, we do have unmarked locatives. So.
Right, but it's whether we can use that with lingua anglica.
Okay.
Was the question.
If there's something registerable there, one way or the other.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to the device. Believe that someone pointed out an issue with that. The device is vert on a cartouche argent, a unicorn rampant can turn sable, maintaining in its sinister hoof a rowan sprig proper point to base. The issue that was brought up was we have 2 tertiary charge groups in the unicorn and the rowan sprig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a single primary charge, and that you can only have one tertiary charge group charged onto a charge.
Right. Basically, tertiary charges can't maintain stuff.
Right.
That's the practical impact of that.
The proposed change that was a change that was proposed during commentary was making it an Argent shield with a vert border and making the unicorn a primary charge.
I also like the suggestion of just losing the Rowan sprig if the client is amenable to that.
Well, another option would be to put 2 Rowan sprigs, Argent maybe, in chief on either side of the cartouche. And that would get the Rowan sprig into it.
The problem with doing that, though, is they may look too much like a wreath.
Yeah.
Well,
No, they're not. 2 sprigs do not a wreath make, though.
Okay.
She is trying to merge her parents' heraldry, one of which has a unicorn and the other which has a rowan. So I don't think she's going to want to drop either.
So
Okay.
if she were to put a white rowan sprig in chief on either side of the cartouche, that would do that. Now I don't know.
Or just a single sprig across the chief.
You would have to then decrease the size of the cartouche fairly substantially,
but
that would work too.
Or
yeah.
if she wants to do that, why doesn't she border the cartouche or have the cartouche composed of the rowan?
Huh?
You're talking about creating an oral, a cartouche-shaped oral of rowan.
Yeah.
That's kind of an odd.
I mean, if you go to Argent, an annulet of rowan, or within an annulet of rowan, a unicorn rampant sable.
That would be a wreath.
To centers, that would look like a wreath.
That would be a wreath of rowan, which is
Okay.
not necessarily a problem.
Well, rowan might be close enough to the general depiction of laurels that it can't be.
Yeah, that's why
I brought
say
it up and then decided to discard it.
Problem.
Huh?
I mean, the short answer for tonight is that the device can't go up. The device needs to be sent back for rework.
Yes.
There's a variety of ways to get there.
Afraid so in this case.
To do the unicorn and the rowan.
So basically, we have to figure out some other way to incorporate the rowan sprigs into the design.
And that's probably really what's involved the submitter in the conversation.
There's too many options.
Yep.
My initial cursory conflict check shows that if we do it as an Argent field with a vert bordure, it's clearer conflict.
Okay.
And we just have the unicorn as the primary charge maintaining the rowan sprig.
That would work too.
And that's really these are really the submitter's got to be engaged on what to do next.
So the cartouche as such is not really a necessary element to her design.
Don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is.
I know her, but I'm not the herald on this one. She just happened to talk to me about it after she submitted it.
So yeah. I mean, really, we can't second guess what's important to her.
Yeah.
All we can surely say is this isn't going to work because thing.
All right. So I'm going to propose that we just go ahead and return it with suggestions and have her resubmit it. when she figures out how she wants to fix it.
Okay.
Yep.
I would have to agree with that.
All right, so that one we are going to send up the name and return the device.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to number 4. Jacopo Cantaori, a new device. Azure, a wheel of 8 spokes between 2 bendlets 4. I don't believe we need to specify the number of spokes on the wheel. I don't think that is a.
I think I think 8 spokes is pretty much a default.
It is.
Yeah, so it would be Azure, a wheel between 2 bendlets or.
Correct. And I didn't find any conflicts on it. I was kind of surprised, but I didn't.
Kind of striking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
That's nice.
Very simple.
Yeah, Volunteer was all about simple armory last night.
Yes, we were. We had some really nice ones that were open for people to take.
Yeah, it was like somebody went into the O&A, hit a bunch of stuff, and said, "Okay, now conflict check." But
yeah. So this one gets the complexity less than 4 ribbon.
Yeah.
It does.
Is that a blue ribbon?
No, it's white, actually.
Hmm.
And I didn't get mine at Known World. I will have to figure out who's handing out ribbons next year and get mine.
That would be Chandra, is dealing with ribbons.
Okay.
Oh, she'll definitely give you a ribbon, Ian.
Oh, she will.
Yeah, what kind of ribbon?
All right. Moving along to number 5. Catalina de Chatelet, resub badge. Fieldless on a rose argent barbed vert, a crossbow overall sable. We have determined that we need to either have it on or overall. We cannot have both.
I have a question. What was the reason for the return the first time?
The reason for the return the first time was it was, let me find it. The rose was over top of 2 charges. One was I forget what the first one was, but the second one was a crossbow quarrel, and we determined that you couldn't identify the crossbow quarrel under the rose.
Okay.
Because of the size of the rose in relation to the quarrel.
Was this a laurel return?
No, I believe it was a kingdom return.
I think it's a kingdom return, but the redesign is clearly barely overall.
Yeah.
So there's no way that works. But the 2 redraws that I did, in my opinion, the crossbow completely on the rose is a little bit hard to identify, and I think that it's easier to identify the elements if the crossbow is actually overall. But that's just my 2 bits.
If the original had the rose over top of a sword and a crossbow quarrel in Saltier.
I have a question. As a design, couldn't you have the rose over top of the crossbow?
We tried that. We tried that, I think, too. I don't remember what the issue was, but yeah, the rose being overall on the crossbow would also work.
Because for me, as a crossbowman, I would be able to, because the rose would be small enough, you would still see the bow underneath it and still be able to identify it as a crossbow.
I don't know about that. If you look at White Antelope's first redraw, if you swap them in your head, it's kind of hard to determine that it's a crossbow behind that rose.
Mm-hmm. The rose would have to be in the base of the crossbow.
Or something.
Yeah, and that's
harder to
and where I think that might be period, I don't know if we can blazon and register it if we just put it in the base.
right. So the
I think having the crossbow clearly overall is the best choice. Just decide if the client is okay with it.
The Consulting Herald posted a redraw at the bottom. Alan Lawson
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
My only problem with the redraw on number 2 is you're losing the bolt again.
There is no bolt.
Oh, but
Oh,
there,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
there
there
is
is a bolt. It just needs some interior detailing.
yes, exactly.
But that's not important.
Okay.
I don't think that's important to the design. It's certainly
And
not showing up in the blazon.
I was going to say it's not a blazonable difference.
Right.
Okay, sorry.
That,
Okay.
Well, for that one, you can use Bronwyn's number 1 with the color, and then you know, and his black and white. They're kind of the same, mostly the same.
That's what
my number 1 redraw had the coral in white.
yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. So.
Well, the submitter submission didn't color the coral white. It's drawn in the outline and then it's just all colored in. So.
But if it's not a blazonable difference, then
yeah, it's not, you know, it's not blazoned as being, you know, knocked and drawn with a quarrel. So
no, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you're doing items like this, it's got to be like Laurel and Hardy. If Hardy were in front, you'd never be able to tell Laurel was there.
Yeah.
No.
But I think that the redraw that the Consulting Herald provided fixes the issue that we have.
Right.
And that would be fieldless, a rose argent barbed vert overall a crossbow sable.
Yes.
Yeah. The redraw from Alan addresses the issue, and if the submitter's happy with it, then yeah, we got something you could send up.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to propose. I'm going to get her permission to change it to Alan's redraw, and if she approves, then I'll send it up.
It's very clear what the elements are in that one. So.
And I feel bad because she's been trying to register a badge for a very long time. She's had a lot of returns, both with her device initially and then with her badge. So now that we have something that we can send up, I feel good to send it.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to send that up if she approves the redraw. Moving on to number 6, Ragnall Farquhar. Farquhar?
Yes.
Farquhar, yep.
Okay.
Haven't you seen Shrek?
I'm not going to wonder if he's compensating for something.
Yes. Really. Oh my God.
Good
All right, so
Sing.
Should
Okay.
be holding green with envy then.
Yes.
all right.
Okay.
So
The
this
article
is an anglicization of
Scots is looks like it's Gaelic given names. He says language must remain Scottish. Well, does that mean Scots or Gaelic? Because those are two wildly different things.
Right, and nobody ever the submitters very rarely realize that though.
I mean, if he means
And-
Gaelic, it would be good to clarify that with the submitter before.
Well,
you
this
send this
form
out.
the form that's submitted is closer to Gaelic. It's definitely not Scots.
And I've actually just had to contact a submitter from one of the LOIs on behalf of Pelican for combining a Scottish given name with a Gaelic surname.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like
That we can't combine these two language groups.
Well, Scottish is Scots is almost a dialect of English,
it's
It really
really
is.
close.
and
if these are both Gaelic,
Well, let's see. Ragnall Ronald is.
Well, they give the Gaelic spellings.
right?
Uh-huh.
For so either one of those, if we were to change it, would be, if we were to change it, it would make it a fully Gaelic name.
Yes.
Yes.
And that will tend not to make Pelican cry.
And we would prefer not to make Pelican cry.
Yeah.
Not gratuitously,
Because we kind of like it.
you know.
Well, we could claim it wasn't gratuitous and fast.
Yes, well, see, if we make Pelican cry, then it looks like I made
I
I don't want to live with that.
yeah, really.
Yes.
Because she's not going to blame all of my commenters.
Well, now you have video you can show her.
That's true. Tell her to check it out on YouTube.
She has lots of friends who are good with the stabby.
And whatnot. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm going to propose to the submitter that we change the spelling to the FEARCHAIR to make it a fully Gaelic name.
And also not run the patronymic Mac and Farquhar together. Keep them separate elements.
Yeah, keep them as
It
separate
makes it
elements.
also more Gaelic.
Yeah. And there might be grammatical foo. I don't know if there's lenition or something going on in there.
Well, this
Sorry,
is
I missed the first.
this is a masculine name. You rarely have as much problem with lenition.
If
And it looks like that it's set up as a genitive. So
right.
I'm betting that's correct.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Fixing that grammatical bit should not be an obstacle to registration. It's not a major change to fix that if it needs to be fixed.
Yeah, he wants it to remain Scottish and as close to McFarquhar as most important. So
Yeah.
just as close.
Okay, but it would be good to clarify with the submitter whether he means Scots or Gaelic, because Scottish is not a language.
Right.
And so
the only issue he's going to run into is voice heralds calling him Fear Chair.
Yeah, he's going to be a fear
not a
chair.
problem.
Eternity.
There are worse things.
Yeah.
That's what people get for not having English names.
Is there a way to anglicize the first name? He was trying to anglicize the surname.
Well, but if he wants when he says Scottish he means Gaelic, which is a fair bet, subject to confirmation, then not anglicizing it is indicated, or there's probably an anglicization.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to propose that change to the name, and if submitter approves, we'll send it up.
Yep.
Sounds like a deal to me.
All right. Moving on to number 7. Rudolf Dornvogel. New name and new device. Start off with the name.
The name is a good one. I just checked in Breckenmacher, and that's actually where the surname comes from. It's on page 332 with that date of 1441 with an F instead of a V.
Yes, I was unable to find the surname under the link that was originally provided, but I did provide another link under name comments where I did find it.
Yeah. What page did you say that was on?
It was on 332.
332. Okay.
Yep. The header is Dornvogel with a V.
So
Because the D and the V just goes right back and forth all the time.
Right, in German it does.
At least in German in that particular time period.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But otherwise, I don't think we have any issues with the name. The docs check out. I don't believe we had any conflict found.
No,
I'll
I
double
didn't
check.
find any.
Or if you didn't find anything, Bronwyn, I won't even worry about it.
Well, I did not find anything close. Dornvogel was just not.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything close to
It was not something that is a common.
Right.
All right. So we will spruce up that documentation just a little bit, and then we'll send the name on up. Moving along to the device for Chevron Argent and Chevronelli, Bert and Argent, 2 stags, Bat and Sable. We're gonna have to fix the spelling of Bert. It's not Bart.
Not Vart.
Bart.
Bart.
But those are some very nice
This is not,
Chevronnels.
excuse me, this is not a Swedish name.
They're saying Bart as in Earl Bart, who has stags on his arms.
Birdie, brisky. All right.
Count Mark. Sorry.
Michael Gerard raised an issue with the line of division being a bit low. Is that enough to require a redraw, or is that just an artist note?
Artist note, if even that. We've had several in Callantyre that have been even more vague-ish with chevrons, and they've been fine.
All right.
You know, if there's another Argent Chevronnel on top, then it's not too low.
Contrast, Alex.
But then you might be having the stags overlying the line of division.
Yeah, really. Okay.
No, because there's just enough space for that nice Chevronnel.
Yeah.
Really?
Just standing on top of it, so they're really mountain goats.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
All right. So I think we're good.
I think an artist note in this case would probably
I
be.
think an artist note is perfectly reasonable.
I wouldn't say a thing.
This particular one. So we will send that up with an artist note. So
I like it.
Goes up with spruced up docs, and the bike goes up with an artist note.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to number 8, same gentleman, a new badge.
Didn't it say withdrawn?
That was Michael Gerard's comment.
Gerard withdrawing his remark about kingship.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Drawing his remark about the attire looking brown.
He figured out his eyeballs are fooling him.
Yes.
And I have to admit, just glancing at the middle image, the eye does try to make it look brown.
Yeah.
Except that when you blow it up, it isn't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So fieldless, a stag within and conjoined to an annulet vert. Personally, I would like to see
With the annulet thicker.
Yeah, give the annulet a cookie. And personally, I'd like to see the tire kind of stretched out a little bit and connected a little more, but
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. It meets the requirements for being conjoined. It is touching at 3 points.
It
So.
does, and all elements are recognizable for what they are.
So send her up.
I would propose sending that up with an artist note on the annulet, saying to beef up the annulet.
I wouldn't argue with that.
Okay. So we will send that one up with an artist note too. Moving on to number 9, Simon Chelfrumos, new name and new device. Starting off with the name, we have docs for Telfrumos, provided by Pantheon.
Mhm.
And Frida tried to, but her
She's-
digital Romanian sources are currently down.
mhm.
But we have extra documentation for Chelfrumos for the by name.
It looks like you've got a solid name.
Yes.
We don't have very many Romanian names. So
Yeah, and it looks clear.
It does.
So in that case, we will send the name up. I'll add the additional documentation provided during commentary. Moving on to the device. For pale ermine and ghouls, a chief sable.
The black and white and the color don't match.
Well, that's why I did a redraw further
Right.
down.
Yeah.
That is one that was one issue that we were going to have to address.
Yeah.
And Michael Gerard commented on your redraw, Bronwyn, and said that the field shape seems to have been stretched a little bit.
Well, whatever. Now he drew a black and white, but he went ahead and colored in the black on the black and white one. So
I think that if someone who's a little bit better at image manipulation than I am would be able to just sort of cut out the ermine quarter on the color device and then just sort of paste it over top of the line art, because they should fit.
well, they actually are identical images. One of them is just colored in. They were the exact same image. Oh, but you're talking about the ones that he
I'm
submitted.
talking about the ones that the submitter provided.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a black and white outline. It's got to match the colored copy in its.
The other option is to take my redraws and make them a little squattier. But
I can take care of that. I'll get you the black, the line drawing redraw tomorrow.
All right, I appreciate it. Great, thank you.
yeah, because that would solve that too. They would be identical.
Yeah.
And then I'll notify the submitter and get permission to use the new images.
Mm-hmm. Unless he wants you to return it.
Unless he wants me to return it.
I mean, those would be his choices.
Yeah, it would be, but I doubt he will.
He's
Well, he's one of mine. No, you don't want to. Don't. He doesn't want you to return it.
Okay. Yeah.
Even
Right.
if he's not answering his text.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, so we get that one fixed. I think it was Michael Gerard, pointed out that it is clear of the marshalling rules.
Yes.
The last one, the addition of a bordeaux or a chief that does not itself appear to be part of two distinct original arms also removes that marshaled appearance. In general, a chief or bordeaux which has poor contrast with one side of the field meets this standard. Because the sable chief has poor contrast with the ghouls half of the field, we clear the presumption of marshalling.
The appearance, yep.
Yeah,
Oh, the appearance.
so we're clear of marshalling.
So you don't necessarily need to explain that. You can just leave that out there, and if somebody goes, "Oh, it looks like marshalling," you go, "No,
Not with a chief.
Well,
no."
I will cite the SENA rule by the letters and numbers.
Yeah, that should put a stop to that.
Marshalling rules by as per SENA A6F.
Yeah.
And then they can go and look it up themselves if they have an issue with it.
Well, if you're going to cite the rule, you may as well cite at least the particular clause that's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Because that will help Reef. That will, in case somebody fusses, we've already addressed it, and Reef doesn't have to look it up.
Right.
And so that's the benefit of just giving the full citation. is because the job here is to make it easy for Reith to go, yep, ask this.
All right. So we get a redraw of the line art to match the color drawing, and then we send that one up. So moving on to number 10, same gentleman, new badge. Fieldless, a Seawolf, Perbend, Sinister, Ermine, and Ghouls. This would be more a Seawolf, Ermine, Tailed Ghouls.
I was going to ask about that because if it is per bend, that slice should go through the tail as well.
Yes, it should go through portions of the tail.
And
the fluke.
Ermine tailed ghouls is much better.
Yes.
Yes.
And more accurate.
And I liked Bronwyn's redraw down here with fewer and larger ermine spots, so we can tell that it is in fact ermined and not just covered in little black dots.
I also thickened up the tail right before it went into the fluke because it was so thin on the original that the comment was made about wings.
Right.
And so I figured if the tail was thickened up a little bit, it would be more clearly a tail with a fluke.
Yeah, it's a lot clearer.
You can definitely tell that on the redraw that those were ermine spots. I made them as large as I felt.
So here's the other question: does Seawolf need to be hyphenated? I believe it does.
It does.
Yes.
Okay. So we will alter that blazon to Fieldless, a Seawolf, Ermine, Tailed Ghouls, and we will send the redraw to the submitter for permission to change the artwork, and then we will send it up.
Sounds good.
Works for me.
Yay.
All right. Moving on to number 11, the last item on our letter.
Wow, we're rocking.
Stefania Zafiro, new device. Azure, a cat couchant or spotted sable, winged and in base a mullet argent. I agree with both Michael Gerard and Bronwyn that the cat needs fewer, bigger spots.
Right now, it looks like it just has measles.
It's got pox.
It's got the pox. Yeah.
It's a pox.
Poxy cat.
It's a cat, couchant, or poxy.
Pox on your cat.
But
is this going to be? Do we have to conflict? I mean, is this a cow? Is this a cat spotted sable, or is this a natural leopard?
Aside from the wings,
well, yeah, I mean,
and there's not a DC between those two things.
No,
because cats is cats.
Cats is cats,
and we're ignoring the markings. I wouldn't worry about it. Reith can always reblazon it.
Yeah, Reith can reblazon it if they.
Reith can reblazon it, but particularly if we do larger spots on this one, that becomes a natural leopard. A winged natural leopard, because all of them actually are naturally winged. You just can't see them. But,
okay.
But that's how they managed to get those leaps so well. But
no, I'd send it up the way it is.
Yeah.
And just let it be.
It's just a question of emblazon. They're going to conflict anyway. But the reality is, this is actually going to be a natural leopard.
And if you send it up as it is, it may get reblazoned or
as a natural leopard or not.
But this is what the submitter sent in. So, and I don't say anything about it that's not registerable that demands a change. And the blazon is always going to be given to describe the thing. So
And the blazon is more fluid than the emblazon
Yeah, we don't mess with emblazons.
without permission, but the
Well,
blazon they can.
once it goes up to Laurel, it's whatever you set up.
Yeah, but blazon should be the most clear of what the picture defines, not what the person is looking for.
I think blazon is clear.
It's
More of a leopard.
It is a yellow cat with black spots and white wings, and a white star in the bottom.
So
Since
leopard spots are not so dotty.
No, they're not completely round, and these are all uniform in size, pretty much.
And so we can give the commenters the opportunity to make wise-ass comments about spots on this cat and the like.
And so,
I think it's worth sending up.
yeah.
Yeah.
While I would prefer to have it with fewer larger spots, I don't see any reason not to send it up as is.
No.
And I wouldn't bother mentioning that point either.
No.
Make people come up with that idea on their own.
Okay.
They make the big bucks.
So we will.
And that's why.
Yeah.
the blazon mentioned that the wings are white, because if I'm just looking at the blazon itself, I would imagine these wings as gold, like what it is, what the body is.
No, because everything after sable is ours.
Okay.
Everything is the same color until you list the color,
Okay.
and then you start on whatever the next color happens to be.
Okay.
Yeah, if it were blazoned as azure, a winged cat, couchant, or spotted sable, then you'd have to read.
Then you'd have black spots on the wings too.
Right, the way you've got it, they've got it arranged. It makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
New thing to learn every week.
All right, so that's the end of our letter. We're going to be setting that one up. So thank you, everybody, for
good job, Pennon,
sticking with us.
Yay. I'm sorry I was late. I apologize again.
Don't ever do it again.
That's all right.
Right up in the middle of item number 1. That's not very late.
Yeah.
And thanks for being friendly for an out of kingdomer.
We love out of kingdomers.
We love you.
So our next meeting is going to tentatively be on Tuesday, November 27th, which I believe is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yes.
So we should be fine.
So we should be all right. All right. Well, that wraps up our letter for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and helping with commentary tonight. Thank you for everybody, whoever they may be watching on YouTube. If we have anybody watching on YouTube,
I think it's just me.
it's just you. Well, thank you, Alex, for watching on YouTube.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you next month. Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
In my calendar.
Same Harold.